Hi everyone, in today's video, I'm going to compare the leather quality of handbags across 7 different brands. I will include, in no particular order, Cuyana, Ateliers Auguste, Parisa Wang, Polene, APC, DeMellier London, and Coach. I'm hoping that this video will be helpful to those of you who are considering purchasing a handbag from any one of these brands. So let's start with Ateliers Auguste. I have 3 of their mini Monceau bags. This is the oldest one that I have. It's the off-white cream color. It's a smooth leather, and oftentimes smooth leather is a little less durable than grainy pebbled leather, but I found that no matter how I wear this, I definitely don't baby it, and how much I travel with it and throw it around in my suitcase, it has held up beautifully. No scratches, no wear on the edges or corners, and like I said, of the 3 mini Monceau bags from Ateliers Auguste, this is my oldest one, but I'll show you really quickly the other 2. This one is the lizard embossed one, so it has definitely a different texture, more of a shine. It's going to be more durable in my opinion because of the embossing here. So it's got a different look and feel to it, but this one as well, absolutely no wear anywhere visible on the bag. And then there's the taupe color, and it's that same kind of smooth, almost like box leather, but it has tiny little, I don't know what to call these, like not grains, but you can see really closely. It's different from the cream colored one. The cream colored one is flat, and the taupe colored one, can you see? It's kind of cloudy today, it's raining. See those little lines? Shiny, smooth to the touch. Can't feel the texture really, but it almost looks like tiny little veins maybe. Very subtle. Whereas this is more flat and matte. So I hope this is helpful. This has the gold buckle detail, so this is the gold edition of the mini Monceau. So these are holding up really well. Let me show you Cuyana. This is my small size, easy tote. I rave about this one because I love the feel of this and the sheen on this leather. So this is the cappuccino color. And as you can see, it's very pliable. I can just fold it up, smush it up, and then it just opens up nicely. So I'm going to show you the corners on this. No wear, and this is again a bag that I do not baby. These are more carefree for me. So it's got very subtle grain texture. Can you see that? And a bit of a shine. So there's a coating to it. And so far it's holding up really well. I got it caught in the rain several times, I mentioned in past videos. Holds up really well. I think the coating makes it water resistant, so I've just kind of wiped off the water. Same with the Ateliers Auguste bags. I found that rain does no harm to the bags, but obviously these are apples and oranges, hard to compare, but I'm going to show you. I'll also compare this one with some of the other pebbled leather, okay? Because I have received a lot of comments in the past asking if you can choose a bag from Polene versus Parisa Wang, or Parisa Wang versus Cuyana, or Cuyana versus APC, which one would I choose? And it's just hard because they're all different styles. And by the way, the brands use different types of leathers depending on the style of bag. But this is the Grace crossbody bag from Parisa Wang. It is also a grainy pebbled leather. I had mentioned in a recent video that I was going to ask my mom if she wanted this bag, and she said yes. So I am packing it up for her so she can have it. We like to share our bags, and gray is usually not the color I gravitate towards, and I have a couple of gray bags now, so happy to share with her. But this is what it looks like. To be fair, this bag has not been worn a lot, but it is holding up beautifully. It just feels really durable. I've talked about Parisa Wang before. Feels very, very durable. All of the leathers, all of the bags that I've tried have been just really kind of thick and sturdy feeling. I have let go of a few of my older Parisa Wang bags, but this one here is a top handle with a crossbody, and I love this beautiful color. It's the only kind of wine burgundy color that I have in my entire handbag collection. This too has that subtly grained but sort of flat leather. This one has feet. So this doesn't make any noise, but there have been other bags from Parisa Wang where I felt that it was squeaky, and those were actually more the walrus textured leather bags. I think they were walrus textured calf bags. I talked about those. You can check it out in my playlist. They had more of a squeaky effect. They were a more thick leather stamped. Walrus texture is very interesting. These are more sort of classic grained. And you can see no wear at all. Feels really nice. Okay? And I want to compare Cuyana with Parisa Wang. Cuyana has definitely more of a sheen, as you can tell. Just ignore the color for now. This is more matte. I've noticed that most of the Parisa Wang bags have a matte feel, and then Cuyana has this sort of shiny, polished feel. Okay, and then the grains on the Cuyana, as you can see, are a bit more pronounced. But it will also depend on the specific piece of leather that is used for each bag. Even if it's the exact same bag, it might vary a little bit because it might come from a different animal, right? So there are always going to be some variations we have to keep in mind. Now, this Polene bag I had mentioned, I'm going to be gifting it to one of the young teachers at our church, and she's excited, so I'm going to give it to her very soon. So I thought this would be the last video I can showcase this Polene numero 9 mini. And here it is in the beautiful pebbled leather. So again, I'll share a side-by-side. So there's the Polene, and there is the Cuyana, and there is the Parisa Wang. Again, the Parisa Wang is flatter, more subtle grains. So it's sort of like an in-between between a smooth leather and a pebbled, in my opinion. And this is truly pebbled, like you can run your hands and fingers over it and it feels textured. Stitching is beautiful. Now, of course, Polene has bags that are smooth leather as well, and I used to have one. And that's going to wear very differently. They're smooth leathers, but the pebble leather, very durable. This I have caught in the rain. I have worn it without any worries. Holds up really well. So happy to gift this. So say goodbye to my Polene because I won't be showing it anymore after today's video. This is my APC bag. Remember, I had the gray spaghetti bag as well, but I've since let that go because it's the exact same color as this bucket bag and I felt like it was too repetitive. So I kept this just because this is a different silhouette. And the gray spaghetti was another flap bag, and flap bags are my thing, so I have a lot of them. Let me show you. I've shown this in my update video not too long ago. I did a 100-day check-in for this year, and I also talked about some of the updates on my bags, what's leaving my collection, what's coming in. But I showed this in that video. So there is a pretty pronounced scratch on the back of this bag, and I have no idea how it happened. When I let go of my gray spaghetti bag, it was in pristine condition, but I do think that this leather will definitely scratch more than any of the pebbled leathers that I showed you. And even if you compare it to the Ateliers Auguste flat, smooth leather, the texture is different. This on the APC feels more, I don't know, it feels like less protected. Like there's something over it that can scratch. Like here, the scratch revealed the color here, the light color underneath. So just something to keep in mind. These are the things that you only know once you try out a bag, right? So I'm glad to be able to share my experiences. APC makes some beautiful classic bags, but I do think you just have to be mindful of the scratch risk. And then this one is my Coach Rambler Mini that is no longer available. I got this years ago. Got one from my mom as well years ago because she saw mine and she wanted the same one. So I really wish they would bring this back. Now, this is Coach glove tanned leather, which is what they're known for. If you know the history of Coach, I've done so many videos on them. And I would say that of flat leathers, smooth leathers, meaning non-pebbled, Coach glove tanned leather is absolutely beautiful. And it is not heavily coated, so it will patina over time. It will pick up the oils from your hands. It will develop kind of a sheen and a softness. And I feel like with these kinds of leathers, they're meant to age really nicely. So I've not seen any scratches really. And this is another bag that I just sort of throw around without having to worry about it. Really compact, super cute. I know there are different versions of the Rambler. They make slight revisions and then they bring them back. So hopefully they'll bring back something very similar. Oh, there are some scratches here, like right here. Do you see that? But this, again, for some reason, this type of leather, it doesn't look bad to me when there are little marks because it feels like that's how the bag ages. Whereas there are some other types of leathers where if you scratch it like this, it looks just wrong, you know? Like it just looks like the bag is injured on the APC. Whereas this, it just sort of like blends together and it feels really good. So I am a huge fan of glove tanned leather, specifically from Coach. And I know they make also pebbled leathers, but this is definitely a good one. This is my newest addition, and to be fair, I've not worn it out yet. It's still in the dust bag, and I don't know how it's going to wear. Now, I have heard from some people who own DeMellier London bags that they hold up really well and it's super durable. The leather feels really thick. It's grained pebbled leather. It feels kind of slick. There's definitely a coating of some kind. I mean, most leather bags are coated so that they don't get wrecked when they brush up against something or when you are out in the rain. But I have also heard that the hardware scratches easily. Now the stickers are still on this hardware, at least on the inside portion here. Over here on the inside. But the outside is not protected. This is how the bag came. I just unboxed this week. Can you guys see that? Can you see that right there? Here, and here. There are little scratches actually that I didn't notice. But yeah, I did hear from some of you in the comment section of my previous videos when I said I wanted to try DeMellier London that you had heard or you had experienced that the hardware scratches really easily. Well, this is a brand new bag, never worn outside, and there are some scratches on the outside. So maybe I did the right thing by not taking the stickers off on the inside. And I showed in my reveal video that this doesn't really click into place, which is going to drive me crazy over time, I think. Anyway, let's just focus on the leather. So this is obviously in black. I did notice that Tanner Leatherstein, who is, the guy who is now like all over the place as a leather expert, he cut open one of the DeMellier London bags. I don't think it was this one. I have to go back and revisit the video, but he said that leather quality, don't quote me on this, but I believe he said something to the effect of being kind of disappointed by the quality and craftsmanship of the DeMellier bag that he had deconstructed. And again, I don't think it was this bag, so we'll have to see. But I vaguely remember him saying that he preferred either Polene or Strathberry, I think. Again, please don't quote me on it. It's kind of fuzzy in my memory. But yeah, I don't know. This is still too new. But so far, it feels quite durable. It has a little bit of a plasticky feel. That sounds really bad. But what I mean is, this has a coating, but instead of plasticky, it kind of feels glossy. Yeah, it's a little bit different. And then this, like I said, feels more matte. And it's sort of soft to the touch. Doesn't have that kind of extra layer, at least not to the touch. This is also matte and smooth. This has an altogether different feel to it. Hard to describe, but it's definitely smooth. Maybe I should compare these two. The Polene and the DeMellier. Very similar in grain size, both pebbled leather. Easy to compare because they're both black. Let's get a close up. I feel like they're quite similar, although I will say, as an untrained leather person, as a lay person, this feels a tad bit better than this, and that's just personal. If you're a very sort of tactile and sensory oriented person like I am, I can tell the difference. So maybe I just have to get used to this one. But you guys know I really love the Cuyana, and some people probably think it's like too shiny or too glossy. right? So some of it is personal preference, but I wanted to just compare these for you in a very non-professional manner and tell you that largely the bags are all holding up. This new DeMellier bag is too new for me to really say anything, so we'll have to see. This one is going to be gifted to my mom, and the APC is the only one that has a visible scratch. And the Polene Cutie, which I will miss, is going to go to one of the teachers at our church, and I get to see it every Sunday on her if she wears it, so that'll be nice. It's really artistic and pretty. Always makes me wonder, how do they cinch the leather like this without having it crease or sag over time? It's kind of cool. Like, it dips right here, but it doesn't sag. The other concern that I have on this now, and now I'm just being really nitpicky because it's a new bag and I've got a critical eye. I mentioned like this part here might start to sag, which I don't think it's specific to DeMellier. I think it's the north-south vertical silhouette. So I probably need to get a base shaper, like an organizer insert. But that is the medley I wanted to share with you. Here's the other Parisa Wang bag again. I do have another Parisa Wang that's in Epsom leather that is a shrunken down version of this bag style, which I've shown before, but I didn't think it was fair to show Epsom leather here because that is a very different kind of leather. It's not a smooth leather. It's not a naturally pebbled leather. It's a stamped leather. Epsom is a stamped leather, so it's just different. So I hope this video was helpful. Do let me know down below in the comment section if you have any questions for me. And if you enjoyed this video in any way, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love for you to be part of this handbag obsessed community, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.